Well, we are certainly seeing the effects of the Great Resignation in the immigration world. And I'm not sure the labor market for foreign national employees has ever experienced anything like what is going on right now. Um, when companies are not finding US workers for open positions, a natural place to look is for workers that come from other countries. Many of my clients are dealing with the volatility and the labor shortages that they're seeing by opening up the pool of potential candidates and by considering more foreign national candidates. And some of my clients are doing more now than they've ever done before to sponsor employees for immigration benefits in order to keep them happy. So this first slide, in thinking about solutions for hiring and retaining foreign national employees, I think we must first take a step back and think about what's important to foreign nationals and what are their priorities. So this slide shows your typical US workers' priorities: compensation and culture, flexibility, opportunities for growth. All of those are priorities for foreign national workers as well. But foreign nationals have to have additional priorities. They have to worry about job security because their ability to remain, to live and work in the US is tied to their job security. If they lose a job, they have to look at leaving the US. They're worried about sponsorship for a non-immigrant visa. If they want to be here long-term, they're worried about green card sponsorship. And if they're married, they may also be worried about getting work authorization for a spouse. And I'll give you just a quick example from a recent conversation that I had. So just for context here, I work with a number of mostly Bay Area-based companies, and I help them get visas and green cards for their foreign national employees so that they can live and work in the US. And my clients reach out to me when they're looking to hire a foreign national that needs visa sponsorship, and they ask me for assessments. And recently I had a client reach out and say that they were looking at a candidate who recently graduated from a US master's program. And in the past, when a client reaches out about a recent graduate candidate, this has typically been a very quick and straightforward exchange. But this client said that the candidate wanted to have a call and had some questions. That's not too unusual, but when we got on the Zoom with this candidate, it was a very long list of questions and demands. When will the company sponsor me for this category? If that doesn't work out, can we do this category as a backup? Can we do that category as a backup? How does that compare to these other companies that have also offered me? You know, this other company is willing to, can you guys do the same? Can we start a green card right away? That's in the past has not been typical to start a green card process right away for somebody fresh out of a degree program. And they kept going back to other companies I'm interviewing with are doing XYZ. Are you going to do the same? In the past, companies could often hire foreign national employees and then work out the details and strategy for immigration benefits later. But now it is becoming more common for candidates and employees to insist on immigration benefits and then take another job or leave if they do not get them. I've spoken to lots of people since COVID who more and more are making significant career decisions based primarily on immigration considerations. So understanding how much many foreign national workers value immigration sponsorship, employers need to be able to make reasoned decisions about what they are going to pay for, what they're willing to do for foreign national employees, and what's not worth it, what goes too far. So I always recommend that companies develop a comprehensive immigration sponsorship policy that specifies exactly what the company is willing to do. And as part of this process, you have to budget and understand what steps come first, what steps come next, and how much is all of that going to cost? And is it worth it for the type of employee that you're looking to hire? It's beneficial for companies to figure this out in the abstract before they get demands from specific candidates or specific employees. And it's important for companies to understand all the costs and risks before they commit to a certain type of visa or green card sponsorship. What sometimes happens is you get a particular candidate that you want, or you get an employee that's highly valuable, that's asking for X, that's asking for immediate sponsorship for a perm green card, for example. And it's easy for the company, for the hiring, whoever's in charge of hiring, for recruiters to say, well, we really want this person, so we're going to do it. Without realizing that that has a spillover effect. Whenever you do something for one employee, as we all know, they talk. Other employees then come forward and say, well, you did this for this person. You should do it for me too. So as part of this process, you have to consider that and consider what is a reasonable risk and expense to take on. Is it reasonable to hire recent graduates who need to get H-1B status, and they've only got 1 year to enter the lottery? The H-1B lottery is held once a year, and the number of people registering keeps going up. The number of H-1B visas stays the same. This year, perhaps, is a lower percentage than ever before of people getting selected for H-1B. You have to consider if the company is willing to look at candidates who are outside the US and need an immigration solution in order to get here and work. You have to consider what types of non-immigrant visas you're willing to sponsor and what is too much to deal with, too much hassle. What kind of green cards will you sponsor for? And what's too expensive, what's too much of a risk? And also very important, spouses and children. Some companies will pay immigration-related expenses for spouses and children, and some do not, and that makes a big difference to some employees. Let's go on to the final slide. So after you've got your policy, it's important then to make sure that recruiters who are out there looking for the candidates understand the policy and know what to look for. The recruiting in the current climate can move very quickly, where you're ready to move forward with an employee. They're looking at multiple different options because lots of people have options right now in the labor market. So recruiters need to know the policy and be ready to move right away and say, yes, we can do this. No, we can't do this, but what about this? And recruiters need a way to get quick answers. Often it's not straightforward when a candidate comes forward and says what they need in terms of immigration benefits. You need a way to, you need a process to quickly assess what immigration needs are, what the strategy would be if you're going to move forward with a candidate, and then to get answers from the business as to whether they can support it. Recruiters must understand some immigration basics. It's helpful to be able to look at a resume for somebody who's a foreign national and understand just on a basic level what they're going to need and how much that is going to cost and how much time it takes to get it done. And when this policy is in place, and I have clients that have dedicated the time to developing a policy and then training their recruiters, when that's in place, it can work very smoothly and can be to your benefit and a competitive advantage versus other companies that are out there hiring. And an advantage as well for your foreign national employees and in terms of keeping them happy. You know, when we get candidates that come from other companies and they're looking to transfer to our clients, we hear about their frustrations dealing with other immigration counsel and other employers in terms of understanding what they could be sponsored for, the timing, the cost, the risks.